Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Saturday morning. It's a coffee kind of morning. I apologize if you hear some background noises. They're cleaning the parking lot beside me. I live beside a little health building, chiropractor, therapist, counselor, that type of deal. And they started about 5 o'clock last night, and then they ended about 7. I say, well, that's good. I'm glad. But then they're back at it again this morning. So it's not that big of a parking lot. And they're probably pushing all the crap on my lawn as well. So I may have to get out later and clean it. I wanted to continue my VCLT reviews with a couple of final albums that I have, and also show you some great curbside pickups that I got yesterday. We're in a lockdown in Ontario. Started on Thursday, and so the only way to get is through curbside. But I was able to pick up some really good ones that I hadn't seen in a while, or even ever. Even when I was digging in that place, I never saw these albums, so I'm glad I found them. So let's get started with the VCLT. Again, both of these are from the amazing, the great, the most giving person in the BC, Mr. Aaron Mutha Alomar. Thank you, Aaron. He's amazing. He researches what you're into, what you like, what you have. So he takes that time, and then he sends you what you need. So he knew I had the first two albums, the second and third album of this band, but he knew I didn't have the first album by this band. So are they done now? Nope. They're still going at it. So he sent me their first album, which I absolutely love, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. So we're talking about the band Till Tuesday, and this is their great debut album, Voices Carry. Awesome, awesome stuff, including the beautiful Amy Mann. It's on the Epic label. Again, he sends everything with MoFi sleeves, which just adds to the greatness of the albums that he sends. Voices Carry, great debut album. Amy Mann, by the way, was the only artist that appeared in a Rush song, Time Stands Still. She was also in the video, which was kind of cool. You know, Rush is basically very private band. Even though they're accessible, they're a very private band. They kept amongst themselves. But to add and to ask a guest vocalist to appear, it was pretty cool. And they chose a great one in Amy Mann. So great alternative rock band from Boston, formed in '82. Again, the beautiful Amy Mann on lead vocals and bass. She's a great bass player as well. Guitarist Robert Holmes, keyboardist Joey Pierce, and drummer Michael Hausman. They only put out 3 albums, only active between '82 and '89, but three great albums. So Voices Carry, their biggest charting album, including their biggest hit, the title track, Voices Carry. They also put out a couple singles from that, Looking Over My Shoulder and Love in a Vacuum. The Voices Carry single went to number 8 on the Billboard charts, and huge hit on MTV and Much Music Canada's version of MTV. That was at the time when videos propelled bands to the moon, and it was a great format. I haven't watched Much Music or MTV in years and years and years. I don't even know if it's still around, but at that time it was the thing. It's a great, catchy album. Amy Mann's voice is so powerful, and her bass playing is really funky as well. Great album. So thank you, Aaron, for sending me that album. I really appreciate it. I also have their second album, Welcome Home. A little laid back than the poppier Voices Carry, but no slouch of an album. They're growing, they're maturing, they're getting better in their songwriting, and they're playing. Released in '86, hit number 49 on the Billboard's 200. Less keyboards on this one. Great underrated album. Less commercial than Voices Carry as well, but it's a stronger, more mature album. As I said, they're growing with their writing and their performing, and they're playing. Awesome stuff. And finally, their third album. I love this cover. It's a beautiful cover. Everything's Different Now. Third and final album, released in '88. It's a coming with the heart album. It's more personal. I don't want to make her sound bad, but Amy Mann was in a ton of relationships. From her guitarist to her co-writers to her touring guitarists. And she wrote a lot about those relationships, the good and the bad of them. And this album was just between two relationships. She was just ending a relationship with writer Jewel Shea and beginning one with her touring guitarist John Bryan. So she didn't give herself time to find herself, I guess, maybe. So most of their works have been about relationships and the ups and downs in those relationships, and also the experiences they had with the record company. So they're, in some ways, they're down and out songs, but they're made so good what they're playing and they're singing. They're depressing songs, but that style of music, it doesn't sound depressing unless you actually sit and listen to the lyrics. Great band, awesome 3 albums. If you don't know Till Tuesday, check these guys out. And of course, Amy Mann's solo career. I've yet to get more of her solo albums. I want to get more of her solo albums. Shannon talks about Amy Mann all the time, and and how good she is in her solo album. So that's next on my list for sure. Aaron also sent me this amazing live album, Minus Was Here, by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Sorry for the front cover. This was live in Knellworth Festival, England, in 21st of August, 1976. Awesome stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a bootleg album. Again, on the MoFi sleeve. This has all their big hits on it. There's the back cover there. You've got Working for the MCA. You've got I Ain't the One, Saturday Night Special, Traveling Man, That Smell. That's on side A. Side B is Gimme 3 Steps. I love that song. Of course, the last two are just the powerhouse of the band, Sweet Home Alabama and Freebird. Awesome stuff. And I love it. It sounds good. Some say the production wasn't the greatest. I haven't found that. Maybe my stereo wasn't high end. It's not too bad, but maybe on a higher end stereo you can see that difference. But I haven't found that myself. I find it's quite good. Sounds good. Great album. I also have their debut. Everything else I have is on CD. Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. Amazing album. You got I Ain't the One, Tuesday's Gone, Gimme 3 Steps, Simple Man, Things Going On, Mississippi Kid, Poison, Whiskey, and of course Freebird. 9 minutes and 8 seconds of an opus song. This is kind of their Stairway to Heaven by this band. And then 1974's Second Helping, another fantastic album. Yeah, it's a great album. I love that that inner sleeve, or the CD. Sorry. This was a remastered album as well. Great picture of the band. So you got Sweet Home Alabama, their huge, huge hit. I Need You, Don't Ask Me No Questions, another great track. Working for the MCA, great track as well. The Ballad of Curtis Lowe, Swamp Music, funky tune. The Needle and the Spoon, another deep track, but it's so good. They Call Me the Breeze. This is just full of tracks, full of tracks. Don't Ask Me No Questions, Was I Right or Wrong, and Take Your Time. This is a fantastic album. Second helping. Maybe one of their best. I don't know. The first one's pretty damn good too, as well as this one. This is 1977 Street Survivor. This is a pretty good album as well. What's Your Name? That Smell. You got that right. 3 big hits right off the bat. I Never Dreamed. Georgia Peaches. Sweet Little Missy. And then they're on here. There's some live. Of course, that Smells on here as well. And then this is a bonus CD as well. You've got 5 live tracks recorded in California in '77. You got that right. That Smell. Ain't No Good Life. What's Your Name? And Give Me 3 Steps. So, yeah. There's the man there. So thank you, Aaron, for that VCLT. I've enjoyed every bit of what you sent me, and I really, really appreciate it. As I said, Aaron knows what you like, and he takes the time to look for it, and that's the cool thing about what he does and how he sends things. It's awesome. It really is. So some of the albums I picked up, and got to get my notes straight here. Where's my notes? Am I missing a page? Oh, here it is, right here. Sorry, I got notes all over the damn place. So I found this album here. This is Prophet. Love that cover as well. It's beautiful. Like, this is in great shape. Heavy metal, hair metal type of band, but really, really good. From New Jersey. They started out as a cover band and was known for one of the best cover bands in New Jersey in the 80s. So Cycle of the Moon, the second album, released in '88. And it also, it's considered their best album, and hit number 137 on the Billboard's 200. Lots of killer tracks, and definitely an underrated hard rock band. It's really, really good. I feel a sneeze coming on. This next one. Now you're going to get confused maybe when I say the band's name, but it's called Bush. This is the original band, Bush. Dominic Troiano. You may recognize him. So, not to be confused with the Gavin Rossdale band that was released, that was formed in 1992 from London. But this band's from Toronto, Canada, formed in 1970. More jazz influenced hard rock band. Really, really good. Really, really good. It includes the great, as I said, Dominic Troiano. He played with the band before this that formed Bush, Mandela. And the James Gang, he was there after Joe Walsh left. He became their guitarist. And he also became part of the Guess Who in 1974. So he was he got around and was in some pretty great bands. Roy Kenner, he was the lead vocalist of Mandela, also of Bush. He also was in the James Gang as well between 72 and 74. So again, no slouch of a singer. James Gang was a pretty awesome band. Hugh Sullivan on keyboards. Finnish player Penty Glenn, or Whitey, on drums. He worked with Alice Cooper, Lou Reed, also Edgar Winter, Rick Derringer, George Clinton. I mean, this guy was a pretty well-known drummer at the time. They've toured with Steppenwolf and Three Dog Night, and Three Dog Night actually recorded one of their songs, "I Can Hear You Calling." So pretty cool that that I found that band. So when Gavin Rosted's band came to wanted to put out albums in Canada, Dominic Triano was still owning the rights to the name Bush. So Gavin's band Bush had to be known as Bush X in Canada. And then finally, Triano came to an agreement with the other band Bush, and as long as the London band Bush donated $20,000 to the Starlight Foundation and the Canada Music Therapy Fund, they were allowed to use the name Bush. So that whole thing was settled. But great rockin' band. I mean, Dominic Triano was a great guitarist. This is a hard rock, jazzy rock album. So happy to find it. It's still sealed, by the way. I haven't opened it. I've been just listening to it on YouTube, actually. So this is still a sealed copy. I don't know if I'm going to open it or not. I have to check Discogs to see if it's worth anything. If not, I'll just open it up and play it. But it's on the Freedom label. But yeah, it's still sealed copy. Happy to find it. Next, another Canadian band. This is the band Fist. Not to be confused with the heavy metal band from London, Fist. This band's from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, formed in 1979. It's an independent album, round one. Lots of great guitars, keyboards. Was recorded on a shoestring budget, but they put their heart and soul into this one. It's a great heavy metal, hard rock band. Also Juno nominated band as well. Juno is the Canadian version of Grammys. So happy to find that one, and it's just in mint condition. It's really good. I really like that one. To add to my Uriah Heep collection, I found Return to Fantasy. This is on the Warner Brothers label. Return to Fantasy, again, a great hard rock band, Uriah Heep. This is a 1975 release, 8 studio album. John Wetton is featured on here playing bass. He's played with King Crimson, the UK band, Asia, Roxy Music, Wishbone Ash. He's been all over the place. And I've got a couple of UK albums with him on it, as well as Asia. Great album. It's a great Uriah Heep album. What more can you say about Uriah Heep? Just a great rockin' band. Happy to find this one as well. The cover's a little worn, but the album itself sounds great. This is Uriah Heep, Town and Country. Sorry for the glare. You can see the ring wear on this, but I love this label. Beautiful, beautiful label. So Town and Country, the second album by the band, released in '69. You got Greg Ridley, bass, also plays guitar on some of the tracks. You got Peter Frampton, amazing stuff. Vocals, lead guitar, bass, Spanish guitar, drums, piano. He's kind of a multi-instrumentalist for sure. Steve Marriott, the great Steve Marriott, of course. Guitar, vocals, organ, piano, drums. Again, another multi-instrumentalist. Great vocals. Peter, between him and Frampton, two amazing vocalists. Then you got Jerry Shirley on drums and percussion. Some great hard tracks on here as well, but more acoustic ballads and country rock and blues. It's a little departure from their first album, which is a heavy blast in your face album. Then they lay it back a little bit, but still some heavy tracks on it as well. It's great stuff. Love it. And finally, one of my favorite bands that don't get much love on the BC. I don't know why. Everyone talks about King Crimson, or they talk about Genesis, they talk about Yes, but they don't talk about this band too much. And I disagree. I think these guys are right up there with those heavy hitters. This is Gentle Giant and Freehand. Again, this thing is in mint condition. Beautiful capital label on this one. If you don't know Gentle Giant, they're amazing progressive rock band. Freehand is the 7th album by the band, released in '75. First album under the Chrysalis label. It's more accessible than the Power and Glory album, which I have as well. It's the Power and Glory album. This is more of a conceptual album with a lot of themes to it. This is the other one. Freehand is more accessible. It's their highest charting album, reaching number 50 on the charts. It's a great example of their offbeat progressive rock style. There was a quote on there that when I was looking up this album, that Gentle Giant songs have to be heard to be understood. I think that's right on. It's just an amazing album. Another fantastic album of theirs that I absolutely love is Civilian. I think this is one of my favorites by them. Although I just love Freehand as well. But this is 1980 released. This is an amazing album. And then I have this one here. This is Interview, 1976 release. This is a concept album of someone being interviewed. And it's not the whole album is not interviews. There's just small parts of interviews, but there's a lot of great music on it. But what an amazing band. If you don't know Gentle Giant, again, they have to be heard to be understood. And just like most good progressive bands, it's the same. I mean, when you listen to Yes, you may not understand it the first time you hear it. Or even Rush, or Genesis, early Genesis. The first time you hear it, you may not understand that, and it's the same with Gentle Giant. These guys are great, and I love it. So there you have, I have some great finds, some great VCLT from Aaron Mutha Alomar, and love you guys. Have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.